Oh, it's so awkward. It was so awkward.
Strong, deep eye contact like that is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable.
I've played enough music to know music is not meant to be played one-on-one.
Welcome to the Creative Slash Podcast, where we explore what happens when creativity collides with everything else. I'm Brad Woodard, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Dustin Lee. Whether you're an artist looking to grow your following, or you're just curious where creativity can take you, this is your weekly dose of real talk about making it as a creative human. In today's episode, we share an interview with Josh Ariza, founder of Chomp, an independent apparel company rooted in Southern California's surf and skate culture. What started as a side project has now sold over 2 million t-shirts. He's been in the brand and apparel business as a designer and illustrator for 17 years, with 12 of those years running his own studio, working with major clients like Nike, Billabong, and Under Armour. This is a really fun episode full of everything from how Josh turned some negative trolls comments online into a powerful marketing tool, what lessons he learned from firing a secret celebrity client, and what he thinks about the band Fish. Let's get into it. Enjoy. Thanks for joining us today.
What's up, dudes?
No, we've been waiting to have you on here. I think it'll be a lot of fun. This is going to be both video and audio. So just so you're aware, we've had people in the past that have liked to share a lot of visuals, and which is fine. Which is fine. But also, we're doing audio too, so we'll keep that in mind.
That's cool. Well, for the people listening on audio, I'm totally naked right now. You have no clue.
You have absolutely no clue.
Okay, first question. Do you believe in aliens? Like truly, like serious question. Do you believe in aliens?
To everybody.
I would say that I was 100% sure that aliens did not exist. At least in I'm adhering to the definition of they come, they visit. We can't really see them that often. Maybe they have UFOs. That's the version of aliens that I'm saying I did not believe in. And then I heard an interview with Bob Lazar, who claims to have worked at Area 51. And he brought me from 100% not believing to 99.99 not believing. So I would say I would be so optimistic if they existed. But I think in the UFO form where they show up and they hide amongst us or whatever, I don't think that happens. I think all those things are very explainable. It's like, dude, the shittiest video of all time shows up from like one of our most expensive planes, and it's like, what is that? I'm like, it could be a spot on the lens. I don't know. Like, it looks horrible.
I've seen iPhone
video.
Do you believe just like in all of the universe, they just straight up don't exist in all of
they do, yeah.
Universe, or do you just think they haven't visited, or the big gray?
Yeah, just
guy?
not the visited. Yeah, the big head visited. We captured. A plane. I don't think that. But yes, of course, somewhere out there's some life form that exists. I'm sure. I mean, we can't see the edges of the galaxy, so absolutely, yeah. And there's one probably named Josh, and he's still like a middle tier designer who has never reached celebrity status.
That's what someone that was an alien would say. They would be like, there is no
That's true. That is true. I
gotta tell you real quick. So just maybe I can push you just a little bit more towards it. Honestly, I'm open to the fact that I might be completely wrong about this. But when I was 12, lived in the same area, and got this weird feeling in the middle of the night. I was with my brother. He saw this as well. I just got a weird feeling. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I wasn't drunk. Like, I was just 12. I got a weird feeling. I can't explain it. Almost like something like subsonic, where you feel like something feels like it's weird. I go outside. We live in the middle of nowhere, like trees on all sides. And I'm looking up and you can see the stars and the moon. And this gigantic thing just starts to, almost like an eclipse, like just come over and block everything with pure black. You can feel it and you can see it from above, and it's like sliding over until it's all black. Dude, I was so scared. I ran back inside the house with my brother. I didn't go to bed until the sun came out because I was so scared. I woke my dad up to go look outside to check for me that there wasn't anything outside. And fast forward, someone buys our house, happens to be my brother's best friend. A couple years later, he gets deathly ill. He's in the hospital. Doctors are trying to figure out what's wrong, and they're doing scans on him, and they find something in the scan in the back of his head. They extract this thing from his head. It's a metal chip.
What?
A metal chip?
It was a metal chip. I mean, I didn't see the chip, so I don't know if it was like a computer chip or like, I don't know, like something flew off of something when someone was doing some work and like it hit him in the back of the head. But like, all I know is something metal was in his head. And I don't know, man.
He went to the hospital with this, you're saying?
He went to the hospital and he was like very sick. I don't think the metal chip thing was related. I think they were scanning him for other stuff and they found like something metal in his head.
Man. Okay. So just to recap, you went outside one day, it was nighttime, and you had weird vibes, but something black flew over it and blocked the moonlight and the stars.
Blocked like everything. Like someone put like a lid on top of a container. Like that's how big it was.
Okay. And then some years later, someone who lived next door to you went to the hospital with a chip in their head.
Someone that bought our house like a couple years later.
Oh.
Like they lived in that house and something like that happened to them.
We got to check
definitely evidence of something.
We got to check if your head's chipped up. Because you could have a chip in there right now.
Sometimes I think they come check on me. I don't know, man.
Oh, man.
I have to say, once you repeated it back, it didn't sound as true. But
that often happens.
But I can't really like transfer the feeling, you know? Like when you like say like something went over and it covered all the sky and now there's aliens. Yeah, like that sounds like kind of funny, but like I guess you have to see, you know, like it's like you're just like, what else could it be? Like I've heard there was like balloon things that the government did because they have, you know, they have Boeing and stuff up here. There's gigantic balloon things they would do, and they put them out at night to test government things. I don't know.
It's a big balloon.
Oh, man. Yeah, I feel like what just happened is very similar to when I like tell my wife about this huge work problem. And I'd be like, man, this guy, he was such a jerk to me. And she'd be like, what did he say? And I was like, he just replied like one sentence to my email and he didn't use any punctuation. And she's like, a guy didn't use punctuation in his email back to you, and that's why you think he's mad at you?
Clearly. Clearly.
You're right. When you state it like that.
Yeah.
But I feel for you though, because we know what that means, right? Like we know what that means. Like it says something, right?
Exactly. You read into it.
Yeah.
Read into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I DM'd you the link to this podcast. Immediately you're like, wait, what? I put it on email too.
You sent me an Instagram link to the podcast. So
you lucky devil.
I've heard that the more successful you are, the shorter and more straight to the point your emails are. And I think that might be a little bit true. Slack messages now, I sound like a computer. Just I wouldn't pass the Turing test.
You're like, nope. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that. So, well, no, I was going to say that maybe like I'm notoriously bad at following up. Like if someone emails me, it might take me like a week to get back to them. Even when like, I mean,
you're not great.
My
Dustin.
brother could text message me and it might take me 3 days to respond. I'm just bad at it. Like, so I don't know.
Well, you know, you're fielding correspondence from like every direction, right? It's like someone's hitting you over Slack, someone's hitting you over email, someone's hitting you over text, someone's hitting you over DM, someone's hitting you over Twitter DM. I got this guy who keeps asking me over Twitter DM if he can run my CRM, which if you don't know is just like doing your email correspondence and that kind of marketing. And I'm like, no, I can't. You're way too expensive. And he's like, just a quick follow-up. Did you get my...
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you are too expensive, dude. I cannot spend $4,000 on my emails right now.
Yeah. I get those a lot, those kind of inquiries. I'm just like, come on. Like, yeah, they want to manage everything.
I think something that sucks right now is just the automation of like what's called top of funnel marketing. Essentially is just like the cold lead generating. So anytime you get an email that says like, Joshua, I've been really inspired by your work lately.
Dude,
have you ever considered blah, blah, blah? And I'm just like, I know this is untrue. I know you're not a real person. It's okay. Like, but at the same time, it like devalues my trust in every single correspondence. It's like, I don't know who's a real person. I don't know if they actually are aware of me or how they became aware of me. And now unfortunately, I'm just like this old person who's like, if you know a person who does emails, I'll use them, but I will not just use a random guy.
100%.
So, yeah.
Well, now you even get like, I get ones for my website, or I'd be shocked if you don't get these for Chomp, where it's like someone has made a screencast with some screencast software. Like, I have a couple tips. I looked over your site. Like, what would you do if I told you for free I can get you an extra $200,000 in revenue? Would that be interesting to you? Which I hate because everyone does it. And number two, I hate it because I feel like it's just thinking that I must be really stupid, because why are you asking me if $200,000 would matter to me? Of course that would matter to me.
That's a Lamborghini a month in perpetuity. Yeah, no, I think I'm in total agreement with you. The lack of trust now that I have, like, on the internet or for sales lead emails, is just all the way in the gutter. And when you send correspondence that's disingenuous, it quite literally does the opposite. Like, it makes me think that you're not truthful and you're not truthful about your business. Those videos where someone sends you, hey, I've taken a look at your website, and it's your website scrolling in the background. It's them talking to the camera, but generally enough that they're not talking about any specificity about your website. It's just actually a lie. It's not true. You're being disingenuous, and trying to dupe me makes me never want to trust you. So even if these people are offering really good services, like, I don't think that I can use them because there's no proof of trust. And like, all doing online sales or doing apparel sales in particular, which is what I do, is just all about gaining the trust of the consumer. Like, and that happens like through reviews, it happens through images, it happens through authenticity and transparency. And I'm not even the most authentic guy on the internet, but you want people to trust you. Like,
I've actually thought about I've thought about that a lot. No. I've thought about that a lot because I love following Chomp on social. The stuff you put up there just cracks me up. But also, like, the whole slogan of, like, our t-shirts suck, like taking it from like an initial like comment and then running with it. And I don't know, I've really enjoyed it because it's pretty funny just listening to like how, you know, people, like, even negative reviews and then you responding back to them. But I feel like as much as there's like it's in jest, it's really transparent, because if I met you, you match up with who you are online, which I appreciate.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'm precisely the version you think I am from the internet. I would say, there's a jokey tone or quality to most of the things I sort of make, and it's like a wink at the viewer and stuff. And partly that's like one way to navigate bad PR or navigate like negative feedback. And that's just, I've happened to be able to build a brand around that. Now, if someone does have sincere feedback, like they're really upset with like something that happened with the brand, we do take it really seriously. Let's say someone didn't get their product or someone didn't like their product. I got an email the other day from a guy who was saying, you know, I've been a customer for 10 years, just so you know. And I was like, I've seen his name. I'm like, I know for sure he has. And he said, just so you know, I don't think anything that you've done lately has really hit for me. And I was like, wow, what actual feedback I got? And I was like, and that was sincere feedback. And I wouldn't troll this guy because he probably has spent thousands of dollars with me. And so I just like went running back. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. There was no deliberate change in point of view here. I think it's really similar, but, you know, I'll do my best to keep making cool shit for you. And honestly, like, so transparency in that way, because he wrote me a good faith email. He was not trolling me. He is a big fan, and I responded in good faith. And so there are moments for sure where I'm not being a cheeky asshole to trolls and stuff like that. I am being sincere, but sincerity and vulnerability are left for individuals 1v1. When someone's being extremely vulnerable on the internet, that also makes me distrust them.
That's true.
The internet's for being a weirdo and being funny. It's not for being sincere.
That's a great way to combat it, though. I mean, I know Dustin's got a lot to say on this. I won't say much more, but on this topic, because I know you have a lot to relate to, I'm sure. But I definitely appreciate that, because having navigated like negative comments, having done like YouTube and things, it took me a while to like really just realize either the way that you're approaching it is great, but that also matches you, which it wouldn't match me as much. So I try to just be like, message them directly. If I do feel like it was an issue, I'll do that outside of it. Or I just don't do it at all, because I don't respond at all. Because the problem was I'd always respond at the beginning, and I was like, it's free content. What are you complaining about? Like, how about you make something and then I'll go critique your thing or whatever. You know, I was like, just made you angry because you put all this energy and time into something that's very like, I don't know, a part of me like creatively. And then I got all this feedback. So I had to quickly squash that idea, that ideology, and just be like, okay, that doesn't do anything. Cause then you're just welcoming people to argue and be like, I'm really disappointed on how you handled that comment. And I'm just like, well, crap, I wasn't even talking to you. How'd you get in here?
Well, yeah, the world of YouTube is basically 4chan. Like, it's like the comment section can go completely off the rails. You're not dealing with like the most kind people in the world. Yeah. I think, and there's also a like level at which of success or comment or viewership that you reach where you don't really have to respond to everything, or you kind of know how people will respond to it. But then you have these one-off moments where something might go viral and you're just not anticipating it. I don't make YouTube videos, but I could imagine you have some review or something that once it got outside of your main audience, like you started to meet and see other people who were either going to be like, yo, this review sucks, it didn't help me in this way. And they don't know you, they don't have a personal relationship with you. They're happy to make you feel bad about yourself. But it's probably better to like just quarantine those things to know like, dude, the internet is just filled with maniacs, including me.
Yeah, that's
there's something about I mean, the cliche of just like people feel anonymous. Like I'll get a lot of reviews, emails, or we'll send surveys out asking people about products to try to learn what do they want, what other things are they interested in, etc. And people will say things that are like so shockingly brutal. Like they'll say like, for instance, like, you know, I bought this from you and it's not working. We're talking like a $19 product or $29 product here. And they'll be like, and it's a scam. Like I tried to download it and it's not working. It's all a scam. Like I would have an elaborate scam of creating a download Procreate brush company. And then the whole plan was to just get $29 incremental sales through fake Procreate brush. Like you're like,
yeah,
it's so much effort.
Why you gotta think of me like that? You know, like give me a little benefit of the doubt here, you know?
I will say there are scammers who do go to pretty extreme lengths. There's a thing called Shopify Collective where someone can essentially drop ship your product and sell it to their customer. It's a storefront on the internet, right? So Brad could have his storefront, which he normally sells digital assets or something. And he's like, hey, I want to hold some Chomp t-shirts in there. I'm just going to show your product on my site. People can order it, but I fulfill it, right? And I kick Brad some money on top of it. So that's called Shopify Collective. And almost every inquiry I get through there seems like a fake website with AI photos.
Really?
And it makes me think that it's just, if I kick this up, then I can like purchase these products cheaper. And it's like a Shopify website, but in the worst way possible. And so scammers are working just as hard as regular professionals, but in a worse way.
Right? Like they have like they're working their butts off to probably make similar amounts of money, except they decided to like go into the field of scamming.
Right. It's just as hard work and a little less money with the downside of possibly going to jail.
How do you like Shopify? Downside. I'm on Shopify too, and like I feel like it's one of the few things that I've always been satisfied with the Shopify platform.
100%. Yeah, there's definitely has been these digital products where like Shopify is one of them where I'm just like, I have no complaints. Every developer I work with gets things done really quickly. We can make updates to the site, move it along pretty quickly. I'm a huge Shopify fan. And in fact, Chomp has been featured on the Shopify website before as like someone using a certain theme. And then we also use the Shopify capital sometimes. I'll take money from them. It's great. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Wow. Oh, have you done that? Because they always are like, you could have this much money from us if you want, and you can even get it taken out of your distribution payments.
Would $200 or $200,000 be that's something you could use?
I've probably taken close to 70 grand from them over time, maybe in the last year. So yeah, we pay it back.
Awesome.
I'm great to lend to.
Yeah, we pay it back. Just in case they're listening. Yeah, we pay it back.
We always do. We hit our benchmarks.
That's
maybe
awesome.
I never do that. I'm always like, well, I'll just use my own money to do it. But then I started to hear about how like, maybe this doesn't apply. Actually, Josh, probably you can explain this. You probably know this better than me. You know how they say like super rich people, like instead of getting their money out of their assets, they borrow money like to show debt, so it shows as a loss, so then they're not paying taxes on it. Can you do something like that with the Shopify loan? Like, would that be a reason to do it? Like, could I count it as a loss instead of You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's really just it's essentially what does the capital cost you? Like, what are the interest, and then what are the margins on the product that you're making and selling? So, yeah, I had a much smarter person than me who we didn't get quite to terms, but he was considering investing in Chomp. We have no investors at present, but there was a time where I was entertaining that back when money was very cheap. And so everyone at that time was really leveraging debt to make more money. In fact, I had an office mate at that time who just was borrowing as much capital as he could to invest it. And he was totally comfortable doing that. So I think right now, because interest rates are quite a bit higher, you're not really seeing that kind of thing as often. And even the business model of like private equity, I think, has changed quite a bit. People are not investing in startups the ways they were before. They're not investing in like pre-revenue or pre-profit companies really, and they're not really purchasing things. So, I mean, at least that's my friends who kind of work in M&A. And now private equity companies want to only purchase brands that are super profitable, but like, who wants to sell a brand that's super profitable? Like, what person? Yeah, this makes me so much money. I should get rid of it. You know,
I'm
so
fulfilled and rich. I should get rid of this.
Yeah. But yeah, we are constantly looking to grow and take on new customers, and our business model changes pretty much every year in terms of like, you know, what does profit look like? What does success look like? And yeah, when money was super duper cheap, we were making all sorts of new customers, and when money got more expensive, we tightened up the ship and made sure we didn't spend in the wrong ways. So I keep saying we like there's some like group of people here. It's like me and all my vendors. You know,
Dude, I feel that. I say that all the time.
Yeah, the royal we.
Yeah, I flip between them too. Like, sometimes it feels weird to say I, like if you're, I don't know, talking about just your company and a certain thing, like in an email, say I send an email out. It's just me.
Right.
I mean, I have a couple employees, but it feels like it's me, but you're like, but that's weird. It's not me.
Yeah. Well, solopreneurship, I don't think really even existed that much until like 5 years ago, right? It's like everyone's distributed, you know, even big companies now, they're kind of like founder-led companies where you're like seeing the founder of the company all the time. You become really intimate, like familiar with their faces and stuff. And, you know, we probably have 5 different companies on contract that are, you know, paid some regular amount of money, even just to manage the website. We also have a sales group. We have 2 agencies. We have a 3PL. And so, you know, I'm not fulfilling your product. I'm not even writing your emails sometimes. I'm writing your newsletters, the ones with the cuss words. But, you know, the flows and all that other stuff, that's from other people. And so, yeah, it really is a we. I am cautious though to move too far away from like being the linchpin to my own company, because I think people like it because it's me, and they like to know that it's me, and that, you know, when they purchase from me, they're helping feed my dog Captain. So I'm not a billionaire, and that's not why I set out to do any of this, but I think I'll probably always be really like the voice of it. And you know, I think you can see that at least on the internet that like big brands try to behave as individuals, like more than anything. They try to talk with like one voice, you know, like Wendy's or something like that. And like, did you see Wendy's clap back at that cucustomer or whatever? And you're like, this is a fucking corporation, dude. Like, this is not some cool, edgy team. So I think that's really big brands really want to be individuals. They want to be artists more than anything. Like, they would love, that's why I think like the individual, the artist, the graphic designers, the solopreneurs, this is like, it's high time. It's like, there's never been a time like this for people to want to purchase from individuals. And they really don't care about corporations.
Dude. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I've always like liked your stuff too, for that very reason. Like, you always show the process too of how you're coming up with ideas, or asking, you know, your viewers to like, your followers to like come up with suggestions. And did Chomp start as just like was it just kind of this outlet for you that you're like, hey, I got to do more of my illustration stuff? Or was it, because I'm not as familiar with your background. Like, I know you're a designer and you're but you illustrate, you call yourself a commercial artist on like Instagram. What was your background leading up to this? Like, was it always illustration and you just didn't have a chance to do it, or what?
I've always worked in apparel. So what's a special category called Printables. I designed t-shirts, headwear, board shorts, women's garments, like all sorts of things. The hats that you guys are wearing, I know how those were made. And I designed it for Nike sportswear, and I've designed for Billabong, and I've designed for Under Armour. And so mostly large brand entities on the early part of my career. And then about, probably 8 years in, my friend who worked at Zumiez, who was a big box retailer, offered to, he just said, hey, if you ever start a brand, we'll purchase from you. We'll put POs against it. Like, I'd be interested.
Shoot.
And he was like really the main champion for it. So if someone's offering you free money like that, you take those opportunities. And, it wasn't really like a passion. It wasn't really a passion in the beginning. It was just like, oh, cool. Can I do this thing? Like, can I keep it in the air long enough? In the show Bluey, they play this game called Keepy Uppy, which is like them bouncing a balloon up into the air. Yep. That's really what Chomp has been for essentially like a full decade. And so if we can satisfy customers, make people laugh along the way, feed my family sometimes off of it, then it's been great. So we just crossed over 10 years, and it's really just been like a fun project that was like, can we come up with a cool concept that's silly and fun and people will relate to? And I can draw the whole thing, and then it's really become an art project. So yeah, nothing really, we didn't break the mold. I was really just trying to create Santa Cruz skateboards.
Dang.
In a different way.
You're the reason why I feel like, I don't know, your scenario totally illustrates my point that we were talking about earlier at conferences, where you feel like some of those lectures kind of drop the ball because I feel like you can't relate to them. And for this exact scenario, you had this scenario where you were able to, like Zumiez, like someone working at Zumiez or whatever was asking you to create stuff and then they would buy. Like that stuff is like, that doesn't happen to everybody. Like somebody else is like, hey, I want to get into apparel design. It's like you had a very unique situation. And I feel like sometimes that's the thing. Like you don't ever know. It's hard to like watch people and aspire to what they've done and hear their journey. I'm like, that's not something I could do, but I love that it happened in the way it did. That's cool.
I think any career is just, bookended by like hard work and luck, and I think people who work really hard will find themselves in positions where they have a little bit more luck or bump into the right people. But I was also willing to make a lot of compromises in my life to get new things. I moved from Florida to California when I was 22, all by myself. I didn't know a single soul. And that was to take a new job. And so I think I was pretty ambitious about my career in the beginning. Now, if you offered me to move back to Florida, with my family, right now, it would have to be so much money to do that, even though I love Florida. But it's, I was also willing to change a lot. And I think that's probably the big thing for like really young, ambitious students or kids or young professionals. I think like being willing to sort of just take a huge leap on like a new thing, even if it doesn't work out, I think it is a big advantage. And then also in terms of commercial illustration and art, like apparel is just like a perfect canvas for it. And it's sort of like opened a lot of doors for me, not just for apparel, but like, okay, I do skateboards. Okay, I do toys. Okay, I do, whatever other fun thing I want to do, surfboards. Like just seeing the world as like a canvas and just kind of attacking it that way. So I was not closed off to opportunities. And I don't think I really index even much higher than any talented person. I just, I think outside the box sometimes. For example, we did a Boochcraft collaboration.
That's
awesome. I don't know if you see that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all my art. And it's like, this is a canvas, like anything is a canvas. Yeah.
I love that.
So aside, I love like the business stories about this. And I love when I saw you speak at, I think it was, what's the name of that conference again? I saw you speak
Creative Works.
Yep.
Yeah. Cause like you had like a much more entrepreneurial kind of talk about it, which I found like fascinating. And, so you had that purchase order come in. So you're like, well, yeah, it pretty much guaranteed if you make it, I'll buy it. So then you started. So, but you just said you're like 10 years in. So like, can you can you tell like a couple stories about like, I found in my business, different things come up and you're like, well, what are we going to do now? And you that purchase order stops coming in and you're doing something else, or just something stops working, or someone puts tariffs on something else and shirts cost you a bunch of money. Right. So like, what are some other ways like that you kept it going, like that you kept like I don't know, riding the wave.
The balloon keeping uppy.
Yeah, to keep me uppy. Yeah, so I think of the world as like placing little tiny bets everywhere, right? Like you have let's say you're at a casino, you have slots, you have blackjack, you have craps, and then all manner of these games have either higher returns or higher risk, right? But I've just been a person who's willing to sort of play all the games at one time and see which ones are sort of working out. So let's say, for example, Chomp was just selling to Zoomies, and it was selling e-commerce from the beginning. And I was pretty bad at e-commerce, but I was also kind of bad at at wholesale. So I was like not getting great merchandising, and my product would sell. Sometimes it would sell really well, and they kept the product around for a long time, and then those POs got sometimes smaller. But I was also opening doors to like licensing, which is like essentially lending my artwork to other people to use on their stuff. And that's happened over all manner of products, including skateboards or golf apparel or whatever, under the name Chomp, including the logo. So I was just kind of placing bets. Okay, well, sometimes you place a bet on a licensing deal that yields a royalty, and it really doesn't sell that much, and you get like a $51 check, which has happened to me. And but then there's sometimes where you do a licensing deal and it yields you in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So being open to those opportunities, but also kind of knowing what those are, that's how we've kept the brand afloat. So at any one point, there will be a bunch of irons in the fire, including collaborations or e-commerce or how we're running digital ads, and these are all the betting tables, right? And some of them will pay off, and probably 80% of them will kind of lose me money, but you just hope that some of the ones that are winning are making you a little bit more money. And I would say largely like illustrators or commercial artists don't really realize all the ways in which they can make money, and aren't really open to all the ways that they can make money, either because some hasn't really shown them, or hasn't talked about the value and utility of their own artwork. And the world is made of art, I mean, it really keeps the world going and makes people interested. And I think it would behoove most designers to learn about all the possibilities to getting their art on products. So that's how I've kept it in the air. And then look, I placed bets that really failed. Like, for example, I ran an influencer program, and I think I probably paid like 15 grand into this project, maybe 10 to 15 grand. And it probably yielded like almost no posts about Trump, like hardly any. And I could have, for the cost of a lightly used Honda Civic, I yielded one Chomp post, So that was a bad bet. A good bet is that I have some licensing deals that tend to work well for me. Of course, there is work that I have to put into it, but those things do work well. And then collaborations, like we have a lot of really fun ones. So keeping it in the air is just knowing about like all the weird opportunities there were. And I would say even like 3 years ago, I was working way more on my personal, work for hire business. And now I'm working equal parts on Chomp and on my personal work for hire business. So I just found it wherever the money is. That's where I'll go.
He's chasing the money. Not the worst idea.
Dustin, I think you've been in business longer than me. I think your company.
I'm just a little bit. I think I'm coming up on 14 years.
Yeah, that's a long time to be in business.
Longer time to sell digital products, man. If you had told me I'd be selling, brushes, textures, fonts, things like that, like for that long, I would have never imagined that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool business. I mean, and even you, like the diversifying of your portfolio, which is that you sell all manner of digital products to designers. That part's interesting too. You didn't just do types, you didn't do typography, or you didn't just do textures, tried it all.
Yeah, we tried like a bunch of stuff, and I had the same experience. Some things disproportionately are jackpots. And like you said, it's like a numbers game. You hope the jackpot makes up for all the dumb things that you thought would work that didn't. Like I have tried with like referral programs, affiliate programs, influencer programs too. Never gotten like particular types of influencer ones to work or referral ones. No one wants to refer. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. I don't understand it. Everyone, every company tells me do our referral thing like it's going to work. I use Okendo for like reviews, and then I paid for the referrals and stuff. I don't know why. No one wants to send an email to someone else telling them you should go buy this.
Right.
But like with affiliates, like that does work. Occasionally you have to get like 20 affiliates and then one affiliate will kill it.
I find that actually like my ignorance or my naivete about like how hard something is has been a net benefit actually. Like just not knowing how shitty I was going to be at influencer marketing was obviously a huge downside, but there are times where I'm like, oh, I can run an e-commerce store, or I could do digital ads or whatever, and just kind of uncovering this world of like, actually, this is super hard and lots of people are not that good at it, but then getting better over time, and you go from white belt to yellow belt to green belt, and then you have like, then maybe you won't be black belt. I don't think I'm black belt in digital advertising, but I am a brown belt and I know how to create content really quickly and get those things going, and I understand audiences and testing. And when you have like a new notch, I have a special skill now that I never would have had if I hadn't like run my own apparel project. And so, yeah, and so the degrees of expertise, it is kind of like playing blackjack. You're like, oh, I know this game a little bit better. I know I shouldn't ask to be hit on 20, when I'm even 20, So, yeah, so I think in the long run, learning a little bit about a lot has been helpful. And then also just underestimating how bad I'd be at something. I do it all the time.
Dude, that takes away some of that fear. So you can actually once you can fail and learn. And then I dropped like 10, 15 grand on trying to start a TV show, like making for Brave Kids Art Club. I pitched it to PBS and everything. And it was like, I totally tanked because I tried to make, I made it first as like an online streaming, but like take it outside of like a Netflix, because I wanted kids to have access to it and people to be able to pay for some of their content because it's on YouTube. And I was like, it'd be nice to be able to pay, take out ads and add a little extra stuff and up the quality of it and make it into a show that I could potentially pitch and all this stuff. And it failed miserably. But what it did for me was it really, I learned a ton of stuff from it. Like I learned how to make a show Bible. I understand what they're looking for these TV shows. And it's helped kind of, even though it's not a TV show now, it really helped me get comfortable in front of like going to these different locations, having a camera on me, preparing. How do I get like, there's so many little details that I benefited from failing in that whole experience that, and now like books are the thing, like, or YouTube shorts all of a sudden were like my thing, and it's growing. And it wasn't the long form. The long forms are nice and I have a little niche audience, but I like what you're saying there. Cause like, I honestly didn't know. I was just like, let's just make a show. Let's just make it. It sounds like it would be a perfect show, and not fully knowing, but getting that experience was really, really helpful and led to a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah, I think people tend to aim very high in their like first ambitions, or you have those moments where your delusions of grandeur sort of get the best of you, and that kind of motivates like the first few steps. Like, let's say you wanted to pitch and make a TV show or something like that, but what's accessible to you and pretty much everyone is just recording shorts. And I definitely know people who make a living off of shorts, and
crazy.
And the way that people are consuming content is kind of different anyway. So let's say, for example, you did end up making this PBS show. Would you say PBS?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you started making that PBS show, well, then PBS would own some serious part of the rights to it and syndication and whatever. But if you had some just marginally successful shorts YouTube company, then you might own all of it, and it might even be a little bit easier. Sure. I think taking smaller bites out of like a bigger concept is probably the best way to go, especially right now. I think we're kind of living in the age of self-made or solopreneurship way more than ever, and there's not really any gatekeeping for who's going to be the next success. I don't know. Mr. Beast is a billionaire.
Just the last thing on that, like the bets thing, like what's that advantageous too? Like you were like, oh, I used to like said something like I was like kind of naive to certain things I was doing or didn't realize the knowledge gap that was there. But the great thing about doing those is that eventually, like when you get to 10 years like you do, that's a lot of bets you've placed. And I don't know if you feel like this, but I personally feel like if someone else does something similar to me or they're trying to get into that industry, you're like, it's like looking out at a field, right? You're like, no, I know, like over there, like that snake bites you, like over there, like, you know, like you fall and break your leg. You start to just know, so you get such a good gut feeling. Like there's certain weird things where you can kind of sense it
intuition
after you've had it happen enough, I feel like. Don't you?
Yeah. If you watch the show Shark Tank, you'll see some of like certain investors say, oh, I don't want to get in this business because I had this happen to me, right? And then they'll have a ton of trepidation about investing in that project for that reason. And that might be a very legitimate reason, or it might just be like a failed opportunity that just didn't hit, right? And I have those things all the time. You know, people will, collaborations, for example, like some collaborations have gotten lots of eyeballs and lots of likes. In fact, the ones that like took less effort have had way more eyeballs and likes and interest than the ones that that I worked really, really fucking hard on and took 2 years like lead time to come out.
ain't that the truth.
And so it's easy to really get jaded and go like, I don't want to try this thing because either it didn't work in the past or you just don't see an opportunity there. So certainly I say no to kind of a lot of things, but I hope to not get to a point where I'm saying no so often because I can only foresee downsides. I have a long list of collaborations that are coming out this year, and it's really because it's like that will be fucking fun, you know? And it's not because it's going to make me a lot of money, because I know for sure it won't, you know? But like, but trying to say yes to more fun things is better. But I have kids to feed, so you know you'll hear some no's every now and then.
So stepping outside of that, then, like outside of work, have you felt that like just to, you know, you have kids, you've had a successful career up to this point. Are you feeling like how are you feeling towards your career? Like what are the other things that you're interested in? Like, 'cause I feel like I found myself reflecting a lot on like and trying to find ways to not be working. I'm like, I have so many things that I'm interested in. And I'm like, those are the things that
doesn't matter as much. Like, you're like, maybe it's not worth this, or
I'm killing myself, but I want to be doing this.
Nothing marks the passage of time like watching your kids age. And it's really like jarring. And a month can go by and your kids are just at different sizes than they were that last month.
How many kids do you have? And what?
I just have 2 kids at age 5 and 8.
Oh, that's fun.
So I think totally my life is very diversified. I have a family, I have friends, I love to exercise, I have all sorts of hobbies. I'm in an all dad cover band. And so you're right. There is like, you have the investments that will make you money, but then you have the investments that will just improve your quality of life, right? Like, I don't know, being in a band really improves my quality of life. Exercising a lot really improves my quality of life. You know, playing Uno with my son before school starts like really improves my quality of life. And so certainly anything you love, if you do it enough, can become a job that you could also hate. So I think I agree with you that it doesn't matter as much. Now there are things I'm building that are for posterity. You know, maybe one day I'll take an investor at Chomp, or maybe one day I'll license the entire project to a much larger entity, you know? So I have to kind of keep my eyes on those types of opportunities. And so I don't know, this year is in particular, I've noticed like maybe I should just be spending all my time with my kids.
I think so you start noticing they're significantly older. It's like, oh, I thought you were just like a toddler like 2 seconds ago. It felt like, that's my oldest. My oldest is turning 13, so I'm gonna have a teenager here at the end of the month. And I've been going through that reflection quite a bit, just being like, oh my gosh, he's not this little kid anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
it's wild.
When you realize they go in phases, like I have 3 kids, 7. It's getting harder and harder for me to recall the numbers for some reason. 7, 9, and 11, and like I always thought, like with my first daughter, I was like, oh well, there's like plenty of time to do like tea parties with her. But then like you learn that like there's a window of tea parties. There's a window of them doing this. There's a window of your little boy wrestling with you or doing this with you. You don't have, 18 years of that. You have 6 months. You have for this certain thing, or a year of this certain thing, and then it's gone. It's over.
Yeah.
So like I really feel like now I'm like Am I missing? Is there something I'm not seeing that I should be really investing in right now with them?
It's a great
Yeah, it
point.
makes me wonder, like, is entrepreneurship really like a young person's game, a young single person's game? I'm not saying entirely, but like there definitely are moments where I'm like, oh, I know there's a zero sum game here. If I just worked more on my business, I would make more money. And
Yes.
and the trade-off is I lose time with my kids. So I
Yeah.
have not figured out what that balance is. My kids do get a lot of time with me. In fact, they get more time with me than I got with my own dad. But I think there is trade-offs, and I wish I knew the balance. I wish there was someone smarter than me sitting behind me, like, just go home, dude. Go be with your kids.
That is the biggest dilemma, though. No, I completely relate to that because then, yeah, because people tell me that all the time. They're just like, oh, you know what? Like, you run your own business, you can do whatever, you can have your own schedule, whatever you want. Like, yeah, yeah. But if I go on vacation, no one's paying me. Like, no one's working, so I'm not making money. So, like, unless you have other things going on, like online course, like, passive income opportunities, which I've been trying really hard to do over the years. But yeah, it's a weird thing because I feel like, I find myself telling my kids that I'm like, oh, hold on one second, Dad needs to work tonight, and then I'm just like, do I need to work tonight, or is it just like, because I do feel guilty either way, because you feel like you want to spend time with them because I physically can. I don't have a boss telling me I can't, and I have to work at these set hours. But then I also kind of try to keep myself in a schedule where I'm like, no, this is Dad's work time. Even though I don't have, sometimes it's not even something like an active project. I just have to catch up on emails or, or update my website or do things that you never, like, you have in downtime. But that's the worst part. That downtime between client projects and deadlines is like the worst for me because I feel so torn between spending time with my family, doing hobbies, hanging with my wife, or I could get on top of stuff.
Well, there's like a yin and yang because like if you spend time with your like you have to kind of be really conscious of it because if you spend time with your kids, then part of you says, no, I'm a provider. The right thing for me to do is to go spend time working on the business to provide for them in their future. And then like you go do that. And then like the other party's like,
Yeah.
no, the right thing for a dad to do is go spend time with his. So it's weird. Like you have to kind of, for me at least, I have to watch the internal conversation I'm having because I'll oftentimes move the goalpost around according to wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I just did a huge renovation on the outside of my house, so I'm still paying for that. So I'm paying for my renovation at this desk while my kids go swim in the pool that I purchased for them. So those are the trade-offs. Now
Yep.
that's kind of like handing your kid an iPad when you're like, have you ever seen White Lotus or something? You're like, oh man, this is just what rich families are like. They never hang out with their kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't know, Dustin. I feel like I could learn way more from you than you could learn from me, man. You kept your business alive for 14 years, man, and you have people on payroll.
Do you have people on
I
payroll?
mean, I
You
have
have contractors,
agencies
you
on
said?
payroll, contractors. Yeah, I'm in for a lump sum out, but I don't pay payroll tax on those people.
Oh man, you know so much more than me. I could tell us I forgot this. So the first time that we talked, I was like, whoa, this guy's, you can tell you're like super sharp. Like, I don't know what your IQ is.
Sarcastic, but sharp.
It feels, yeah, like, yeah, that's right. That comes with it, right? You get this wittiness. Like, man, this guy looks like he's like an Abercrombie model and you look like you're probably like 125 IQ points. Why is God doling out like so many, like where are you not maxed out, dude? You kind of also draw really good. It seems kind of like,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know, like what?
And
Oh man.
sings in and plays in a band. I want to
The
hear. I
the
really want to
trade-off
hear about your
the
band.
the trade-off is that I have a serious obsessive compulsive disorder that causes me to like my triggers are all manner of things, but it causes me to be like kind of a head case. And my wife is like, you've been talking about the same problem with me over like the last year. Like you need to get over it. And she's not that because she's not a good listener. She's like, this is you being obsessive.
Yeah,
Um,
she
so
recognizes it.
I have some sort of ongoing problems that probably maybe never can get resolved, or for the foreseeable future, they might not get resolved. And it's hard not to be obsessive about that. Um, and I dedicated myself to my work, but now my work is dedicated to me. It's like just I've created kind of a behemoth that kind of needs to keep moving, and it requires a lot of me. So I think resilience is a quality that I have to continue to like sharpen. I like doing lots of things, but sometimes I feel like such a huge pussy. Like I feel like such a wimp, and there's just so many things I feel afraid of that are sort of existential. You know, they're not problems that if I explain it to you, you'd be like, oh, that doesn't sound that scary. But then you're like, yeah, there's just no way. I don't know how to deal with it. So recently I have got into meditation again and just tried to shake out all the strange vibes. But I think entrepreneurship is really about resilience. Like it's just about knowing like whatever is happening right now, you'll figure out a way to sort of get around it or get over it, and you can keep going. And then also staying nimble enough so that you don't bet too much on one project. You know, knowing when to get out of something that's not working for you is like a really helpful quality. There's like a sunk cost in terms of entrepreneurship where you're like, oh, let's say you kick up a YouTube channel and you're like, oh, this requires 20 hours a week of me. And that means that 20 hours, I'm not billing clients who could be paying me $150 an hour, you know? And there's times where I'm shooting something in my office and I'm like, I could have anyone fucking do this. And I can go bill my clients $150 an hour, you know?
Do you have those feelings? Excuse me. Do you have those? I don't want to cut you up, but I was thinking, do you have those feelings in the moment that you're doing them? Because I relate to this. I'm like, as I'm working on one thing, I'm like, well, I start panicking as time goes on as I'm working on it. And then I'm like, is this even worth it? Like, I don't even know if what I'm doing is going to like pay out for the amount of effort I'm putting into it. I'll panic during that thing. Like Dustin and I were talking about even him writing emails. He's like, I'll like focus so much on this email I'm about to send out so much and it doesn't yield very much, but I'm panicking. Like, what if it doesn't? I do that a lot in the moment.
Yeah. One thing I think about is it will take me longer to write the email about how I don't want to make the revisions than it will be to make the actual revisions. And then I try to decide, is this me setting boundaries between me and my client, or is this me being an asshole? And I don't really know. So like,
I literally said to my wife the other day. Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, I did that today. There was somebody asking for revisions. They're blown way past their good graces, and I just did the revisions again, and we'll see if they come back with more.
Dude, that's always the case. I feel like do you ever do this too? Like when you get revisions or something like that? Like sometimes I'll like just quickly take a glance at the email with their feedback, and my knee-jerk reaction is like, what the hell? Like, look at all this stuff. It's gonna take me this long, and I start kind of like hyping it up in my head. This is gonna be a ton of work. And then I sit down with it, and I'm getting better at just not responding right away. And because normally I was like, what the? Yeah. I'll just go off, you know, and be like, this is way beyond scope or whatever. But I found like as I've gotten further along in my career, the healthier way to do it is like wait until you've actually sat and started on those edits and see if it's really as crazy as you think. Because sometimes I'll get it. I was sitting there, I was about to quote him for like 3 or 4 hours of work, and then I got down and got it done in 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Shouldn't have thrown that fit.
Over like the past like 15 years of doing my business is anytime that I don't think there's an exception. Anytime I've ever had an emotional feeling come up and then I respond to that email in that moment, it never turns out good for me. It's always been a mistake. I can't think of a single time I've looked back and said, really glad that while I was catching that emotion, I sent that worked well. Never been the case. I overpromise something. If I'm mad, I say something crazy. Sorry,
dude. Yeah, I don't think I really lash out or act emotionally that often. I look more stoic and serious than I feel. But I did lose a client just in bad faith because this guy just did not understand the terms of the agreement. But I realized it was actually my fault in not communicating it. Like really, in the end, it was me just not setting clear understanding of what the services that we're offering. And I kind of learned that lesson a couple times, and then it's been years and years since I've fired a client, except for one celebrity, which I did fire because he treated me like I was his assistant.
Can you name? You don't have to name names. I'm just kidding.
I could, but I'll go viral. Honestly, he's so famous.
Fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I had a celebrity client.
Just the initials.
What's that?
No, drop hints.
He'll know.
Just the first letter of the first name.
He's listening to it now.
I'll say it if you want to bleep it on a broadcast. But there's a guy named who's on a show called. Yeah. He has a band, and he had me doing logo types for it. And we had, in the agreement there were some amount of revisions, and he had gone. I'd only allowed for one round of revisions. We had gone 3, and then on the 4th one said, "Hey, unfortunately, I had to bill you for these." And he wrote me an insanely rude text message, and I fired him within moments of that. Now,
dude, way to go!
I probably shouldn't have reacted that quickly, but there had already been a baseline of like, I don't think this guy really understands what the relationship is. So, yeah, I fired him on the spot.
You regret it?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Oh, it's over?
I regret more. I don't.
You're just following like your heart, really.
Well, it was kind of really like the third strike. There was 2 small strikes, and like, oh, I can kind of see that we're not on the same team. And if there's anything adversarial in the relationship between you and your client, that is an obvious like red flag. They should be treating you as a partner with respect, and you should be treating them as a partner with respect. And of course, everyone drops that ball here and there, but yeah, you learn that lesson every now and then.
You mentioned that you started doing meditation. I happen to be I don't know what you call it, meditation aficionado, or I've done meditation as well. What kind of meditation do you do? If you don't mind, if that's not too personal, I don't want to get into anything.
No, not at all. That's perfect. Probably 8 years ago, I found myself in the throes of a serious like panic disorder. I think there's a lot of contributors to it. I was kind of partying with friends, or I had too much alcohol in my system, too sleepless, too much caffeine, too much time on a computer. And I think these are all kind of contributors to not having a very healthy mind or a very healthy mindset. I just started being anxious all the time. I couldn't even really feel like I could be in public or go to the grocery store, or be alone. And no one really knew. People could see I was distracted and stuff like that. And then along that journey, met a cognitive behavioral therapist who kind of explained to me what was going on, and a lot of contributors to why I was feeling that way. And they weren't really like things from my past or like an emotional experience when I was a kid. They were more just lifestyle problems, and not really understanding how the brain works. And meditation, as explained to me, that your mind is just conjuring new experiences for you every moment. And you have all your senses, but then you have your mind that just runs wild. It picks up like whatever idea you want to think about, and it runs with it all the way to the end. And I imagine if I was just dumber, I would be happier. But
dang it.
Well, Dustin was explaining, he's like, oh yeah, you realize all the landmines that are everywhere. It's like, I'm constantly seeing landmines or problems everywhere. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to stay inside all day and never go outside. So you realize that, and meditation, I do mindfulness meditation through the Waking Up app, which is Sam Harris's app. And it's really just taught me that your brain is on its own. Your mind is just wide open landscape for new thoughts to pop up really about anything. And so I've been on and off meditating for at least 5 years. So, some days I'll get most days in a year. And then, right now I'm meditating all the time because I'm just an anxious mess.
Jay, well, that's cool. I don't know what you've done, Dustin, personally. I was going to ask you about that as well. I'm really interested in this because I've had a lot of like anxieties and things. I've gone to a therapist talking through these anxieties, and it's one of the things that was recommended was meditation, also medication. I'm like, I'm going to do the meditation, then we'll talk about medication. Not putting it off, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. And one of them that I heard was Transcendental, I think is what it's called, meditation. Yeah. And that was really interesting to me, really intriguing, but I wasn't sure if, so yours is through an app.
Yeah, I do guided meditations through an app, but for me, it's like a form of exposure therapy to all my strange neurotic like thoughts. And But yeah, transcendental, I think just means outside, doesn't it? It just means in nature.
Well, they have like a specific website where you like have a mantra that you repeat. And you honestly they have like a program. You kind of go and you meet and you kind of figure out how you do it. I don't know if that's worth it, or if maybe the app is the best way to start.
I've actually done it. Like easy. I went through the beginning parts. You have to do like 3-part meditation series through appointments. And now I have to like just pay and then go to the things for it. I was like, it costs kind of a lot.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But I don't know, like, what is it? Like David Lynch, I think, like he's a big proponent of it, and Paul R.I.P. Paul McCartney, all these people, right? But I've done the mindfulness one too. I love the Sam Harris app. That actually led me to a Zen dude who did Zen koans, I think they're called, which I found. Have you listened to those on there?
I was just looking at the app the other day, wondering how much I should explore it. I only just do the daily meditations. I like just turn on the daily meditation, do 10, 20 minutes, feel great. Yeah.
Check out the koan. So the koans are designed to like, I don't listen to a bunch of stuff on there. I just happen to listen to those and get really into them. And that dude actually has an app now too. But the koans are like these ideas like from like Zen meditation where it gives you a story, a simple phrase that is like a short little story thing that breaks your mind, designed to have no answer. Kind of like the one hand clapping is a classic example of technically a koan. But like another one is like, what was your name before your parents were born or something like that? And the whole point is to like think about this thought, and it's not to try to find the answer, but that it kind of short circuits your mind into like something. I don't even quite understand it, but I would love if you check it out, message me and let me know what you think of them.
Well, I think at the core of like just the human experience is really looking for assurances all the time, right? You're looking for assurances that your people are going to pay on time, or that your friends are loyal to you, or that you're going to be okay. And everything that we sort of conjure up is to create a new problem where we don't have assurances. But sort of meditation has just taught me that there are no assurances, and it's okay to be uncomfortable in the uncomfortable, and just experiencing that and learning to tolerate that is a lot better than fishing for assurances all the time. And you can drive yourself crazy trying to be assured that everything's going to turn out. And there have been plenty of people who were very happy who things didn't turn out well for them, or there's been plenty of people who everything turned out for them and they were very unhappy. So I think that even the way Dustin was like giving me all this like compliments here, he's like, it's like, wow, when you list out my credentials, things seem to be going great for me. I wish I was a little bit happier. That is the experience I'm living in all the time. And I really do. My wife said to me one time, she's like, you're living in like the golden years right now, the way your kids are and where you live and what you're up to. Like, I don't want you to miss out on it. And she was right. So
that's it. That gives me anxiety when my wife says stuff like that to me. I'm like, crap, I'm doing it wrong. Like, like that's just added anxiety that you just told me that I'm missing stuff. Like, this is when you should be like your peak physical best and all this stuff. It's like, well, crap.
You remember when you were young and you're like, why is my dad always distracted and angry? And then now that I'm a dad, I'm like, why am I always distracted and angry?
Oh, yeah, very, very relatable.
It's kind of like how you were saying, like, like your kids are the best marker of time going by. There's some things I feel like that until you reach certain stages in your life, like when people used to say that about their kids, or they'd say, oh, you've grown up so much when I was a little kid. I took it as kind of like just a throw off remark, and like everyone says it almost like a cliche that they didn't know how else to fill the space of talking. And then you have kids and you see it happen, and then you're talking to other parents, and like you can see the nod. Everyone kind of has this nod, this deep nod. They're like, yeah, the time does go much faster when this happens. And it's trite. It sounds trite when we say it, but it really is. Like there's different times in life where things become very weighty that felt empty maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've been really feeling it lately where I'm like at the desk and I'm like, I've been at this desk a lot. I've been at this desk for 10 years.
So like for you personally, I mean, you do meditation, you said you like to work out, you're in a band, like How are those things fulfilling for you? Like, how often do you get to play in your band? Like, is that something you get to do quite often?
Yeah, we practice every like couple weeks or something like that, and we run through some list of preposterous 80s and 90s songs.
Okay.
Um,
So that sounds awesome.
Dude, I mean, speaking
Yeah,
of
it does.
meditation, flow state is like a really fascinating concept. It's like,
Mm.
you typically experience it when you're playing music or doing sports or athletics or even designing. Sometimes you'll enter some flow state where you're just like, holy shit, I banged out this illustration in one sitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's a pretty magical thing, but I think it happens for me way more when I'm playing music, which is just, it requires you to be in rhythm. You're just experiencing it. So I've been playing guitar since I was a tyke, since I was 10 years old. So yeah, long
That's
time.
awesome.
Valid.
So,
I feel like Brad plays guitar as well. This would be interesting to know. So what, for me, there was a certain catalyst that like was a moment. There was a certain band that got me into guitar from the 90s. Was there a certain thing, Josh and Brad, like that got you where you're like, I should learn guitar? You just saw somebody or something, or was it something else?
you first,
You go,
Josh.
Brad.
Oh, okay. No, I just remember I really liked I don't know, I listened to a lot of my dad's old stuff. Like Jack Johnson was one for me. Like I liked really chill stuff. And what was his name? Elliot. Was it Elliot? Oh,
Smith?
he was like he was like a depressed version of Jack Johnson. Yeah. He was like if Jack Johnson was super depressed. Like I remember his music.
He
I
died
like
for stabbing himself. Just like the darkest way to go.
Elliot Smith is the depressed Jack Johnson. That's a really funny bit.
That's what I felt like. But anyways, I really liked that. I just like dinking around on it for a while. Then it actually became more of a fun thing just to do with my kids. Like as I got older, like I loved like playing music before they went to bed. We did a lot of Johnny Cash and a lot of David Bowie and Beatles and stuff like that. Just fun little stuff. And then, I'm not going to go deep into it because like I pluck around on it and I know, just basic stuff, but it's fun to do with my kids.
You're pretty solid, man.
Well, thanks. I'll keep it to myself still.
Yeah, fortunately for me in high school, all my favorite bands just played power chords, so I was able to pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I got so good at power chords. But I don't think I ever had really good music taste, and I don't think I have really good music taste. I just listen, and I think my own guitar playing has colored how I listen to music way too much. So sometimes I'll be like, dude, yeah, I'll play like, dude, you got to listen to this band. I'll play for something. I'll be like, dude, this sounds like circus music. How do you listen to this? Oh yeah, sorry, I was just paying attention to the guitar.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's two axes when you're playing guitar, and one is like taste, and then one is like proficiency at the instrument. And it's almost like you can be insanely proficient but have horrible taste, and you end up like playing Steve Vai music. No disrespect to Steve Vai. Like, nobody's favorite band is the Steve Vai band.
Oh yeah, but there are though. Like I knew people. I went to an art magnet school where you could go for different things. I went for guitar, and there was people like into Dream Theater and like Steve Vai, and I always thought that was just like hella stupid. But like it made them just shred because to play any of that kind of stuff, you just have to shred hard.
Sure.
But I hated it. Like I mean, the worst example is like I used to think that Sugar Ray was pretty brilliant for like about a year in high school, and like I would disagree with that opinion now. Like they got a couple of times we kind of like are like that's a little catchy, but like I definitely realized I was mistaken in Sugar Ray being brilliant. But
maybe they were. I don't know. It was definitely out of time. We were going back and listening to Limp Bizkit's greatest hits, and even though I didn't listen to Limp Bizkit in high school, I'm pretty sure I knew every hit. So there's something to that.
Yeah. Something when you can sing to it. Like for me, like a lot of the songs, I'm like, if I feel like it can hit, like it's within my range, and I can sing and play at the same time. If it's too complex, one, I'm probably not that skilled at it and I can't do it anyways. But two, if I'm trying to pair that with singing and trying to figure it out, I don't have the patience for it because I literally just play it with my kids. And so they're like, what's the song like? They want you to keep it up. They get frustrated with me. So I'm like, I don't have time to learn this. It better be something with just some real simple chords that I can sing to. And that's pretty much my music choices now.
It is interesting how like some of like some music you think like there's music I thought was so dumb when in the 90s, and then I look back and I realize how great it was. Like for instance, Oh gosh. Dude, it just left me. Who does Bulls on Parade? Bulls on Parade, Killing in the Name of.
Oh yeah, Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, I thought it was
Don't
just like
quiz me.
kind of like really silly, like I don't know, like rap rock or something like that. And then I look back now and I'm like, whoa, like these guys were kind of revolutionaries in a way. It's kind of cool that they were like, let's make a band talking about politics, and so that's pretty cool, man. Like, it's funny how time shows you, like, shows you who
cool
actually
now?
is legit.
Oh yeah. See, I went through the exact same experience with them, but the opposite. And I went back and listened. I'm like, these guys are commies, dude. These guys...
Wait, what does that mean? I never heard that phrase. Commies?
Communists. These guys are
commies.
These guys want a revolution, top-down government.
Okay, commies. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Oh, gosh, that reminds me. I saw a band. You know, when you go to these music festivals, you just kind of go because you're like, I've heard one of their songs and I want to. Oh, sure, I'll go watch them live. I'm already in here. So I was at Bumbershoot in Seattle, and what's the name of the band? They do the song. I feel like they're like a one-hit wonder, maybe two-hit wonder, but they were the "I Can Ride My Bike with No Handlebars." Is the key? What is it called?
The Vaselines?
No. Gosh, it's Okay, anybody listening, you can look it up. I Can Ride My Bike with No Handlebars. It was really big for a while. But the thing is like they were ultra political, and you could tell in their music a bit. But when you got to so they had like their it was like a small venue indoors. And I remember going in there just knowing that one song. I was like, yeah, it's really catchy. And I went in there and I just remember them going there like down with the government, blah, blah, blah. They were starting to, they were hyping up. Everybody started screaming it, and they were having everybody recite it and chant it back. And it was getting really uncomfortable, like kind of culty, kind of, just like, F the police, F this, F everything. And I was just in there, and I was like, at that point, like I changed a bit, but I was a ultra conservative, like compared to now. And I just remember that being like, I feel so out of place, and I had no clue how to react to that. And everybody around me was like chanting right back to it. I was like, this is not for me. This is not my scene. I did not expect this to happen. I just heard that one song and it was catchy. It was funny.
Well, if you go down certain streets, you're going to find commies, Like, I love your song. Now, next time that comes up, I'm going to say that. Like, you go down, like, the rap rock thing, you're probably going to find commies. Like, you go down, like, certain country avenues, like, you're going to find the opposite. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's fine. I don't mind messaging not aligning with my values, really. It's totally okay, but
I mean, it is weird though, right? Like if you're hanging out, like you have very conservative values, and you're like a cop and friends with cops, and you're, blasting, killing them.
Hey, I'm gonna put on Rage Against the Machine. You guys like this stuff, right?
Yeah, you're into that on your barbecue with your cop friends. That's weird, dude.
Yeah.
Flowbots. I just looked it up. It's Flowbots.
Never heard of them.
I think they were a one or two hit wonder. That's about it.
Dude, there are bands that I hate so much that when they come on, I just can't even listen to them. And number one amongst them is the band Fish. It is completely unlistenable.
That's actually Pearl Jam for me. I hate to say it, but Pearl Jam and they all sound the same. It's them and
man, I think Pearl Jam's pretty cool, man.
Dave Matthews.
Yeah, there's bands that I'm listening to where I'm like, oh, I can see why someone likes this, but I don't like this. But Fish is not one of those bands.
Yeah, sometimes there's bands where I'm like, I wish I liked
this. It's like no redeeming qualities.
I don't even know if the members of the band Fish know how to play Fish songs. It sounds so horrible.
Fish doesn't even listen to Fish.
No, Fish does not. If you have to be high as hell to listen to the band, they're a bad band.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel that way too.
I feel like it should just be not categorized as music. It's really not music. It's like it's almost like a cultural strange product. And I feel like I could get behind it more with that because Fish is like, you're like, okay, so you got the Grateful Dead, but you kind of pulled all of the, I don't know, the counterculture or stories out of it. And now you're just like have this kind of unicorn vomit type weird stuff happening. And I'm with you.
There's this guy who makes these YouTube videos called it'll be the name of the band and it'll say Shreds after it. It's just kind of old. He's been doing it for like 20 years, and he dubs over like live musicians, and he plays the instruments really bad, but it really looks like the band is playing bad.
Yes.
And I saw a Fish Shreds video, and I'd never heard Fish. And I saw it, it was making me laugh. And I was like, well, let me go see what the band Fish sounds like. So I went and found the exact live performance of that same video. And it sounds pretty much like that video. And I couldn't believe it.
The posters, though, the artists come out for them are pretty sweet.
I totally agree. The art for Fish is better than Fish.
Than Fish.
I will say, like, I'm a Dave Matthews fan. I kind of like him. I saw him one time at a Bed Bath & Beyond, laying on the bed, like up in Seattle, and seemed like a pretty chill dude.
Wait, slow down. You can't glaze over that. Yeah, I just saw him on a bed down a display, just hanging out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, there's not much more to it. I didn't go up to it, and I didn't go lay down in the bed next to him or something. I just like saw him, and I was like, whoa, like, you don't picture the dude in a Bed Bath & Beyond, but like every man, like, you know, he has his moments where he has to be in that Bed Bath & Beyond.
He's got to test out the bed.
One time I was in a retail space called American Rag in LA, and Ryan Reynolds was in there, Ryan Gosling was in there. And it was right after he filmed Crazy Stupid Love. So this was before he like came back into the mainstream and got really, really famous. And he had been working out a lot for that movie, and he'd gotten really tan and stuff. So we're in there together, just him, just me. And I text my wife and I'm like, hey, there's a guy from The Notebook, and he's in this American Rag with me. She's like, oh, that's Ryan Gosling. And I was like, I hope no one takes a picture of us next to each other. He's easily 6'3", he's jacked, and he's super tan. Really? People are going to think I'm like his friend who he's teaching to work out. And I was like, I just never take a photo.
Like, let me see if I can show you some stuff.
He's so much taller than me too, and so much more handsome than me.
5'8". He looks like a little guy.
He looked really tall and really jacked and really handsome, and I didn't have that.
My wife just showed me the movie Barbie, and holy crap, yeah, he had to get jacked for that one too.
Yeah, he looks great.
That guy's got too much going on for himself as well. Not to mention he did like one of the best, graphic design Saturday Night Live. I mean, I guess not the best graphic design Saturday Night Live skit, but he did a great skit for them with that and the alien abduction one.
Truly good.
That was
really great one. Yeah. Okay, so no pressure, but like, what do you think is like one of the most profound bands or musicians?
Oh man, really on the spot there.
And everyone's gonna judge you for it forever. So
yeah, you can't win this question, but I'm curious what you would like what would you think?
It's like an annual thing. Like if I go back and look at what I listened to last year, there's a band called, it's really one guy, but with a band. He's called Bill Murray, Bilmuri. And this song came up on my TikTok, and it just had like a nice hook to it. And I was like, oh, this sounds really cool. I'm gonna be excited to listen to this. And then I fell down this rabbit hole of listening to this guy's music, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's like pop and sometimes country and sometimes hardcore. And if just explaining those things sounds like it would be so lame, but the hooks are so good. Like I sing along to every song. So his name is Bill Murray. And then what else have I listened to? I mean, of course I listen to hardcore bands. I listen to every time I die.
Bill Murray, just like the comedian?
Yeah, it's pronounced Bill Murray, but spelled different. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bilmuri, like you said. Yep, that makes sense.
I'll have to check.
There's so many of them like that. What's it? The Rit Momney. There's so many different ones that do that.
Trues. There's a Trues.
Yeah. Those always crack me up.
That was my most listened to band last year. But
I want to check that out.
I'm excited. I've never heard him before. Them.
Now, do you have a playlist? Like, what do you do when you're working? For like designing, do you listen to music when you're working, or do you have to like ultra focus? Or
I listen to a lot of podcasts, but if I like, tends to be podcasts in the morning. In the afternoon, it's music because that's when I'm like designing the most. So there's also a kind of a synth pop power pop band called The Strike that I've been listening to, And I think these guys are Mormon actually, but they live in
Really?
LA, and their music is just really positive, and every song off the new album is a hit. Like every one of them has like just perfect recording quality, and yeah, I've been listening to that a lot lately. I stopped listening to rap for the last few years actually, and that was like my main genre for like a decade. But
Really?
I've just
What
fallen out
prompted
of step
that?
with it.
Oh, there you go.
I just listened to it too much, to be honest. I was only listening to rap, and I needed something melodic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that.
I
I
did that with
curate.
jazz for like 10 years. And then I realized like that, like,
You're
cause I've suffered
pretentious.
with like
Just kidding.
anxiety and depression too. And then I realized that maybe I was depressed because I was listening to so much 1950s jazz.
That
I
was
can't
it.
listen to I can't listen to sad music, dude. I think sad music is the worst. When you said Elliott Smith, I was like, I can't even listen to that, dude. He's great, but I
Yeah,
can't listen to it.
I was a sad kid. No,
I
just
can
kidding.
listen to angry music. I can listen to Every Time I Die. I can listen to screaming and yelling heavy. But
Oh yeah.
as soon as someone's a little bit sad, I'm like, no thanks.
If they curse me, I have like very specific playlists for different things that I'm doing. Like if I'm just walking the kids, like walking back from dropping the kids from school, I have a certain playlist. Or if like the weather's a certain way, I have a place. If I'm in the car, there's a certain place. Like I have very curated playlists for all of those all those different moments. And yeah, I feel that like my kids, because they like my oldest, he's like trying to get into a lot of music. It's fun being able, like him being old enough to like have opinions in music, and he's like telling me about different songs and things like that. But it's funny because he wants to share a lot of my playlists, and I'm like, I let him share most all of them except for my workout playlist. And I'm just like, no, man, like I get motivated by cursing, like cursing, just like anything in the song that curses. It's like, that's what's just like gets me going. And I'll be like, I get really motivated, but it's like, that's the only one I'll cut him out of. But yeah, I'm very like highly curated when it comes to the playlists.
Uh,
Trying to think
yeah, jazz. I don't even know where you start with jazz. I don't even know what's happening with that. I
I don't
believe
know.
that
It's good.
that continuum of like jazz musician who gets better and better so much so that they become totally unlistenable. Um,
right. Because they always in jazz, they talk about, well, just play around. You play around the melody, you play around the chords. But if you only play around the melody and chords because you're so good, you're no longer ever playing the melody and chords and it just becomes like a musical insanity.
yeah, dude, can we get some resolve in this music, please? It's like they
Yeah.
never want to do it. Yeah.
I
It
will say
makes me
I love
anxious.
like John Coltrane or someone like that. Like there's like even like a church of John Coltrane. The dude had like addiction issues and all these things, and really was dedicated to his craft. And some of it's just beautiful, I think profound. But the problem with jazz is it's so freaking pretentious. Like I got into vinyl when COVID hit. Like, and I was like, cool, I have extra income because I'm not going out. So like Jason Karn actually turned me on, helped me find a record player,
Yeah,
and
that
I
guy's
started
a
buying
huge
vinyl. And I
collection.
bought a bunch of jazz. I listened to all sorts of stuff, but I started with like this jazz stuff at that time, and now people come over and like I feel like I want to put a blanket like over like the vinyl because there's all this jazz, and I'm like, who do you think he is?
I'm embarrassed. Yeah. I think there is a golden age, I want to say like of yacht rock music that I really relate to and like because one, it was not on the radio really that much when we were young. We were always like listening to grunge music or like it was oldies, like yacht rock was not old enough to be oldies. And then I went to a Kenny Loggins concert one time because my father-in-law was like, hey, I have some Kenny Loggins tickets. And I was like, oh, let's check this out. And I became a huge Kenny Loggins fan. And I
That's
think
awesome.
that there was a long era of singer songwriter musicians who really understood music theory, but they wanted to write like super pop hits, and that's like Michael McDonald and the Doobie Brothers, and James Taylor or Paul Simon, or there's these like musicians who really understood instrumentation and they were taking risks, but they really wanted to write hooks that you like sang
Yeah.
along with. So
Are all those dudes
um,
yacht rock?
not technically those are not yacht rock, but there's who's the guy who sings Jesse's Girl? Rick Springfield. There are these musicians who just understood so much about music and they wanted to write pop hits. So that I could see myself if I was ever like a famous musician, that's what I would be trying to do.
That's
But the
awesome.
musical arrangement in Kenny Loggins is very good. It's sophisticated.
Yeah, I think I heard on it. Have you guys ever heard of like Rick Beato?
Rick
And
Beato, yeah.
or is it Rick Beato?
Oh, Beato.
My
No, I
bad.
Hmm.
haven't heard of
Yeah.
him.
Sorry, Rick Beato. Yeah, I think he had on whatever McDonald. What's his name?
Ronald
McDonald.
Michael McDonald. I think he was
Came
talking
from somewhere long ago.
yeah. That dude was like talking about his songs, and you could tell he's like, oh, like I realized you can use a secondary dominant right here, and then it will make this happen. And I couldn't believe that I was able to slip that right into like the second refrain, and the 5/8 bar. And you're like, whoa, that dude! I thought dude looks like my dad, and I was like, well, it's smart, dude. Knows a lot about this.
Yeah, he knows a lot about music.
Yeah.
When I go watch people live, that gets me. That's where I become a mega fan usually of these bands. Like you'll listen to them, you don't quite appreciate them until you see them perform it, and then you're like, man, when you see how like effortless it comes out of them, is always impressive to me, or how they talk in between or whatever. Like one of the gals that I like really like fell in love with her music was Sierra Farrell. And her stuff is like folk music. But anyway, I saw her at she was the opener for Shaky Graves concert that I went to.
Josh, have you heard of Sierra Farrell?
No.
I'm starting to feel like you're making up bands, dude, because you just like Sierra Farrell, Shaky Graves.
Look, she just won a bunch of Grammys
from the '90s from some band we never heard of.
She just won a bunch of Grammys.
Made a band, dude.
No, she just won a bunch of Grammys. You don't know Shaky Graves?
No. Yeah, I do.
Okay, Shaky Graves. Okay, so she opened, and then she had her own. Then I'd seen a bunch of her stuff. Anyway, if you see her sing, she's like one of the most incredible singers I've ever seen. Like, she's a tiny little person, but
kind of like, country folk genre, right?
Yeah, I can kind of. I like Americana. I like that genre and folk.
I really like this guy. His name's Steven Wilson Jr. He has a song called Calico Creek, and I mean, the guy's amazing. He plays his guitar in like a really strange open tuning. It's kind of low sounding, and he also plays a nylon string guitar for a country artist. So, yeah, you should listen to him. It's so powerful. His music is powerful.
Say it again. Was Calico, you said?
His name is Steven Wilson Jr., and my favorite song is called Calico Creek. And that one's not, I don't think it ranks super high among his popular songs, but he's amazing. And go watch him live like on YouTube, and he'll blow your mind, dude. It's emotional.
That's awesome.
Man, there's so many brilliant people. Like, I don't even remember. Like there was some dude like on Omegle that was playing music, and I think he might have been from I don't know, somewhere in the Middle East or something, but he was playing. I mean, dude, it sounded like he could have been the fifth member to the Beatles. And you're like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Dude, so many amazing people you just have never heard of that are geniuses, and you just wonder how much music you're not ever going to hear in your life that's like just bangers.
I feel that way about designers too. There's sometimes where I find like some designer and I'm like, oh, dude, this guy's work is amazing. I'll click on his follower account. It has like 1,000 followers. I'm like, how does not everyone know about this person? Like, this is the best designer I've ever seen. I hope they don't take my work. So
that's true.
Yeah, the world is just littered with lots of designers who are really good, or lots of creatives that are really good. I mean, essentially the difference maker is like just marketing for, I think, a lot of creatives. Is like knowing how to market or giving the right opportunities or something like that. I mean, but I think Steven Wilson Jr. is about to be the most famous artist ever.
Dang, I want to look that up.
Yeah, I think he's going to be huge.
That's awesome.
I just Googled him. He doesn't look like he would be gigantic. He looks like a young
Respectfully, he looks like a serial killer for sure. But
yeah, okay. I'm glad you said it. I was like, I feel like he's going to be in a documentary soon.
Oh man, he's amazing.
So we're talking like Taylor Swift, like big? Just
no, just like in the country world, big. Oh, okay. Nobody will get to Taylor Swift big again, I don't think.
Gotta say, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming with Taylor Swift. When she came out with that first album and had like that super curly kind of permy hair and there's like purple on the cover, I was like, I don't like the vibes I'm getting from this
dude.
Lady. But
I had an. Sorry. I just had a really weird.
I honestly kind of like her. I mean, I do like her now. Like my daughters love her, and I've heard her a ton. But I don't want to anger the Swifties, but
our podcast gets canceled.
I am shocked when people hate on Taylor Swift. Actually, she has a couple bangers, man. Even if you're not like a huge fan, there's a song for you, man.
There is.
Out of the Woods song is a
relatable.
good song, man.
It is a good song.
I had this I had a really negative experience with Taylor Swift. My introduction to Taylor Swift was like super awkward, where I had just gotten back from the Philippines, and I lived there like right out of high school, moved there, and then I went to college, and I remember like I went on a date with this gal, and she was like, "Hey, are you a big Taylor Swift fan?" And I was like, "No." I mean, this was 2008. And I was like, "I've never heard of Taylor Swift. I don't know who that is." And she's like, "You haven't heard of Taylor Swift?" I was like, "No, literally, I haven't even been in the country for 2 years. So I honestly have no clue what you're talking about." And she was like at her tiny apartment. And she was like, "Oh, okay, well, let me get my guitar." I was like, "Oh no, don't." I hate when people do something in front of me and are waiting for a reaction. That's like my biggest pet peeve is like people's like waiting for your reaction to something. And man,
I did that to you last time we hung out. I was like, "Let me get my guitar," and then like I played a bunch of songs for you.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I was nice enough just to let you do it, but no, I sat down on that couch and she was like 3 feet away from me, and she's playing Taylor Swift songs, singing them to me, like full eye contact. And I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I hate Taylor Swift. I did from like, obviously I can relate to like some of her songs now, and I understand like. But I just had such a negative experience with my introduction to her. I was like, "Oh, it's so awkward." It was so awkward.
Strong, deep eye contact like that is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable.
I've played enough music to know music is not meant to be played one-on-one.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. Unless it's like your kids and they're all singing together. It's different. Mm-hmm. But man,
yes,
it's that was awkward.
Yeah. Although, yeah, she's pretty good. I like Taylor Swift.
Guess what? Was it my kids? They always tease about it because they're always like, "That's like Travis Kelce's girlfriend." Like my son, he always gets mad about it. He's like, "You mean Travis Kelce's girlfriend?" He gets all frustrated.
Taylor Kelce. Yeah. Honestly, the most hate Chomp has ever received was either through the digital ads that we run, and sometimes we run cheeky stuff, like we'll run a really negative review that we got. Just to get people interested. And that's a waste of money, frankly. We don't get, no one purchases from that. But the other one was one time someone got arrested while wearing like a Chomp sweatshirt and they had the logo. And I posted the mugshot of the person. Yes. Of course, I blurred out their face or covered their face. And someone, at least 2 people were very angry that I did that. They thought that I was supporting whatever crime this person committed, which was a non-violent crime. There was nothing, but it was a crime for sure.
No PR is bad PR.
Well, looking to be pissed off, man.
It's like a creative writing exercise to figure out like how something kind of make you mad every now and then. But yeah. There is one other thing. Someone tried to solve a crime through the Chomp website. I guess someone did something while wearing a Chomp sweatshirt, and then a sheriff called or emailed me and was like, "Hey, do you sell this sweatshirt?" And I was like, "Oh, well, that one only showed up at retail. I can't give you the customer information on that one." And I basically stopped his investigation full force. Yeah.
That's awesome. You're like a forensic files like guest.
I would have loved to solve it. Trust me.
Chomp.
Well, I don't want to snitch, but I would love to have solved the code, or at least just known who it was. But yeah, he bought it at retail.
That's funny. I was going to say, speaking about like publicity, so I had the 59 Parks map that I had done, and they made it into a towel at one point, and they were selling it at REI. I was watching that new Netflix documentary, The American Murder of Gabby Petito. Is that what it was? Petito? Anyway, the girl, her boyfriend murdered her, and they were like they lived that van life or whatever. Anyway, in the Netflix show, when they're showing like them, like they're talking in their van or whatever, the whole backdrop they have like is like the little divider is my blanket. And so it's on there the whole time, and I was like literally in front of a murderer. Like he's always in front of that blanket every single time he's talking. And I was like,
serious?
Because someone told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, why couldn't have been anybody else in that documentary, not the murderer who was standing in front of it.
Mark Canesso sent me a video that there was a documentary where, you know how they cut documentaries to like a reenactment, that some guy, it was called like I Survived, and he was in the woods with a wig on wearing a Chomp shirt with like a giant Chomp logo on it. It felt like Arrested Development. And I have been trying to find this clip of this guy wearing a wig and wearing a Chomp shirt so that I can post about it. And it's by the Weather Channel, so they don't put any of the episodes online. I'm like, Weather Channel, find me. We need this.
That's gold.
Awesome.
It is perfect chunk content. Like,
yeah, that's funny.
And so not good for you, dude. Like, you don't want to be like 59 parks, like owned by murderers.
Oh yeah, exactly. Dude. Maybe if he didn't own that map, he would have never done that.
Stop. Like, if we really want to think about it, that's probably what caused it.
Thing I've heard in like days, dude. I'm never going to stop saying that to you now.
Oh, shit. If I had only not made it into a blanket.
But maybe that blanket inspired them to travel.
Gosh dang it. They did. Yeah. They wanted to see all the national parks.
We watched that deeply sad documentary, and the whole time we were just so sad. And I'm like, why are you watching this? Such a sad show. Like,
seriously.
Sad.
I started watching. I was like, no, this is making me not feel good. You know, it's going to mess up my digestion.
And you already know the ending. I mean, you could always check the ending online. So then you just sit there waiting. Waiting like 4 hours to find out what you can Google in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like listening to Elliott Smith. It's like, why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this? It says a lot about me. I listened to both though, so I guess I just was a roller coaster of emotions as a kid, I guess. Yeah. Gosh.
Well, on that really, I feel like that's a good place to just cap it off. You know, just.
Yeah. If you guys find something fun to clip out of this, I'm happy to share it. But thanks for having me.
For sure.
I appreciate it.
What do you want to plug? What do you want to plug while you're before we let you go? Is there anything you want to plug? I know you have a new Chomp merch drop. What do you want to tell us a little about that?
No, we have a can coming with Boochcraft. This is a special flavor. This one is pomegranate lime mate, and then we have 2 more flavors. And so that's a collaboration between Chomp and Boochcraft, and it'll be at Whole Foods all year long. And then I have a collaboration with Sector 9 that is coming out.
I love that board.
So there'll be this board and 2 other boards. And then we just signed a deal with the Florida Panthers, and we're doing a custom jersey right now. So that'll be out early next season. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Congrats. Those are really cool, man. Those are cool deals. And your art is awesome, man. It's so easy to just like see it all the time, not think about it, but it's killer.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Josh. Yeah, this is fun.